Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the coin and welcome to your Chelsea latest transfer news, Chelsea news altogether. Look, lots to talk about, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, Joao Felix has been announced officially for Chelsea Football Club. So is Conor Gallagher, who's been officially announced with Atletico Madrid. Of course, we're going to talk about these two situations in a bit more detail. However, the biggest conversation to have today is Enzo Maresca's press conference. It was ruthless, it was feisty, it was fiery, it was all that, and he talked a lot about Raheem Sterling to the point where he's absolutely fed up about it. And he talked a little bit about Ben Chilwell as well. I think this is the headline. Of course, there's other information in regards to Desarcy and whatnot. Looks like he's probably not part of the plans. So we've got a lot to talk about. Let's get stuck into this, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, nice little video of Pedro Neto and Joao Felix exchanging some pleasantries. I can't wait. I really can't wait how Joao Felix is going to be deployed at Chelsea Football Club, knowing we've got Cole Palmer and Kunku, Pedro Neto. How are you going to fit all of these players in? Nicholas Jackson as well, potentially another striker. Yeah, I'm keen to see. I'm keen to see because for me, let's be honest, as much as I like the player a lot, in fact, I love Joao Felix a lot. It's safe to say, ladies and gentlemen, and I think you'd be lying to yourself if you weren't saying this, that Joao Felix, I don't think, was ever part of Chelsea Football Club's plan in this particular summer. Let's be honest. We were going for Samuel Omar Dion, and for some reason that didn't happen, and we were obliged to buy a player from from Atletico Madrid, and it ended up being Joao Felix. If we really wanted Joao Felix, I'm pretty sure we would have talked about Joao Felix earlier on in the transfer window, not so late in the piece, just when Samuel Omar Dion situation broke down. So I don't want to get into the scenario that, oh no, we always wanted him. This is the player that, Enzo Maresca needed. This is the player that he wanted all along. Let's be honest, that's not the case. However, he's got some very, very nice things to say. Felix is a good player. He's a talent. I think the good thing about him is he can play different positions, inside, outside, number 9. This is why we buy him. So great. I can't wait, as I say, to see how he's been deployed along with all the other players and how there is a balance in this side. I think that is the most important factor. Ultimately, we need the right balance that is going to click for the team and that is going to click for Enzo Maresca. So kudos to Joao Felix to coming back at Chelsea. And similarly, ladies and gentlemen, kudos to Conor Gallagher for making it to Atletico Madrid, who I think for him, very, very nice club to move into, a really prestigious club, a very good club. And in my personal opinion, for the time being, he's actually upgraded Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. They're going to compete in La Liga, and Atletico Madrid a little bit more settled than where we are right now. We have to be completely truthful in the sense that Chelsea at the moment, it is chaotic. It is chaotic, and I'm going to explain to you why. A lot of you guys probably already know why it is chaotic. So many players coming in, so many players that need to go, and there's so little time left for them to go. And some potentially might not even go because they're on big wages, which is going to be a conundrum. And the first conundrum starts from here, ladies and gentlemen. Stamford Bridge sources revealed that the outcome of clear the air talks with Raheem Sterling has been that all parties have agreed to collaborate in finding Sterling and move away from Chelsea permanently, coming from Sammy Mogbil. Raheem Sterling has expressed an interest in leaving Chelsea permanently. This is coming from David Ornstein. Maresca and Sterling. I'm not saying he's not good player, but I prefer different type of winger. So Maresca, look, he's recently we've heard what he had to say about Ben Chilwell publicly. Now he's quite open about the Raheem Sterling situation. Look, from a fan perspective, I don't mind this. I like how Maresca is quite ruthless, quite open. But at the same time, look, is this Maresca really talking, or is this the board passing the information to Maresca? Only time will tell. Because, look, as much as it makes sense to get rid of Sterling because he's on high wages and he's not really giving us the same level of output that we desire from his wages, being a top, so-called a top player at our football club, it makes me wonder, well, why are we keeping Mudryk? I mean, let's take away the money side of things. why is Mudryk there? What has Mudryk done to deserve a spot in this squad? Why isn't Mudryk's name getting touted around to leave the football club? Because if anything, Sterling's probably provided a little bit more output than Mudryk. Is it just purely for the fact that he's on high wages? Well, it wasn't him that you know sort of sanctioned the high wages. It's Chelsea Football Club that gave him those wages. There was no need for us to do that. But it's Chelsea who's done that. Similarly with Ben Chilwell in the April, I believe, April 2023, literally last year, we gave him a new contract up until 2027, and literally 12 months later, now Ben Chilwell is not in the plans. Once again, I've got no issues with Raheem Sterling going. I've got no issues with Ben Chilwell going, because I feel like Ben Chilwell definitely categorically not part of the plans. But why was he given a new contract if he, literally 12 months later, not going to be part of the plans? It doesn't make sense. And he's on big wages as well. For me, that whole piece seems very chaotic. And by giving him a contract extension to Ben Chilwell, have we really secured a market value for him? I don't think so. There's barely any suitors for Ben Chilwell. So, as I said, it's very chaotic. The whole Raheem Sterling situation as well. Raheem Sterling probably really thought he was going to be part of Chelsea's plan this season. And literally 2 weeks ago, week and a bit ago, we all probably thought that maybe he's still going to stick around, because there wasn't any signs of getting Joao Felix. All of a sudden, Joao Felix comes into the frame, and now Raheem Sterling's been given less than 2 weeks to find a football club. My thing is, with all this scenario, from a fan, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys will agree, from a fan perspective, no problems. These players need to go on. But from a broader club perspective, we have to be a lot more professional in terms of how we plan transfer markets. We need to know from the get-go, before we even enter the transfer market, what are we going for? Why are we going for them? And before we even go for them, let's let the players that we feel are not part of the future, let them know why they need to move on. For instance, another example, Armando Broja. Why did he go to the USA tour? He barely even played. Why was he part of the plans? He was always touted to leave. Why did he go to the preseason tour? Why did Desassi go to the preseason tour? He didn't even feature. And now Desassi's up for grabs. And we've left someone like Chalobah. Well, at least with Chalobah, we can say, okay, well, the clubs let him know at least. Then again, the club literally let him know a day before the squad was announced to go to United States for the preseason tour. Why wasn't he communicated? Why wasn't he told about this even prior to the preseason starting? Why was he allowed to have the training sessions under Enzo Maresca for the first 2 weeks before we went to the United States tour? Kani Chukwuemeka, what's the plan over there? It seems like we are bringing in a lot of players. Now we're in the process of getting rid of a lot of players, and we don't even know why they were firstly brought in. And this sort of thing will happen next summer as well, I kid you not. Some of the players that probably feel safe this season, next summer when Kendrick Paez and Estevan Willian also comes through, some of the current players will feel the same wrath as some of the players are feeling right now. They'll feel next season as well. Some of the current players that are safe this season. So I just hope Chelsea are a little bit more professional about all of these things. I hope they communicate all of this information a lot earlier on, and not spring these surprises to the players just days and weeks before the season starts, so you give them ample time to move on. Because look, ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, it'll get to the point where players won't feel like they can connect to the football club and actually perform for the football club. They'll literally feel like they're a commodity. They're part of a stock exchange market where it's ruthless buying and selling. It's very difficult from a human element, from, if you think about from a mental side of the game. And we can't just say, oh, these players shouldn't be so emotional. They should just come and do their job and that's it. No, there is that mental side. There is that emotional side. I'm pretty sure a lot of these players are looking at all of these players that are up for sale and thinking, whoa, this could be me next season. We have to, sooner or later, I think, if we can wrap up all our transfers this window, Osimhen is probably the last piece. After that, I say we take a break from transfers and really just knuckle down on the players that we have and concentrate on them and building a team based on them and not worry about buying more players down the track. Freshen up the team if need be by getting one or two players here and there, but predominantly just keep who we've got and let's not keep including more players and just creating an environment which is, I don't think it can foster good results. So that's just my opinion. And ladies and gentlemen, you let me know. You let me know if you think this is all a bit too chaotic. Maresca on Sterling. I'm not saying he's not a good player, but I prefer different type of winger. I wonder when this was said by Maresca to Raheem Sterling, because Raheem Sterling was picked for the United States tour for the preseason. Did Maresca make this clear from day one? Raheem Sterling came to the preseason early as well. He came in 2 weeks before we went for the USA tour. Was he let know? Was he let? Was he known? Did they let him know about the fact that Sterling, you're not part of the future plans? Or did this just literally materialize because we ended up getting Joao Felix? Maresca, I said to Sterling, he's going to struggle for minutes with us. I said Chile is a lovely guy, but he's struggling to find a position with us. I don't think this is brutal, just honest. Look, I love the fact Maresca is being honest about it, and that's fine. But when are some of these conversations happening? Now, they might have very well happened a long time ago, which is brilliant. But if that's the case, why were both of these players part of the tour? We all knew Chilwell was never going to fit Enzo Maresca's style. We all knew that. He can't invert. He's not technically sound. He's not good on the ball. We all knew that. So once again, why was he taken to the tour? Well, if you know a player's not part of your plans, just keep him home. Give a youngster an opportunity instead. Sterling, if anything, you'd think he'd probably fit Maresca style, 1v1 winger, in the similar mold of Pedro Neto. Yeah, maybe Sterling's not producing the number, but he's the kind of a winger that you'd think Maresca would appreciate. Now, all of a sudden, he's apparently not the type of winger that we're looking for. Which type of winger are we looking for? So this is where I'm like, is this really Maresca talking, or is this really Board doing all the talk and trying to drive some of these players out? Which, as I said, I've got no problems. These players need to go. But what I have a problem is, I think it creates a bad environment, because these things other players are looking at and they're thinking, wow, soon one day the club could turn on me, and that could be quite detrimental. Breaking, Enzo Maresca says Sterling and Chilwell are training away from the first team. So look, there are some information that was getting floated around on social media by pundits out there that, has Chelsea going to fit all of these players? There's 40 plus players. Well, Enzo Maresca actually confirms that I'm working with 21 or 22 players, not 42. So that's good. Look, I'm glad that Maresca's made it public. It's not a mess, as it looks like from the outside, that he's only focused on 21, 22 players, and the others somewhere, wherever, whether they're banished from the first team, whether they're getting looked after by another group, whatever the case is. I'm glad that's the case. I'm very grateful, to be honest, that Maresca has not been forced to train 42 players. He's only forced to train certain amount of players who are going to be participating in the upcoming season. Well, the season's already started, and the other players now categorically know you need to move on. And I hope that they do move on. If they don't move on, once they come back into the team, it could pose a bit of an issue for Maresca. Maresca bites back to Talk Sports reporter asking about the contract length of the players, meaning they can stay. They can have 20 years contract. I don't care. It's not my problem. I'm here to make right decisions for the team. Once again, very, very nice. Very ruthless. Let's see how this all progresses, because We know when the last time a manager was so open about these sort of things, well, that manager is no longer part of Chelsea Football Club. So I'm all fine and dandy with Maresca being brutal and honest, but yeah, I want to see how it all pans out. For me, results. We're all happy to be patient, no problems, but all of these chaotic scenes, chaotic scenarios at Chelsea Football Club will somewhat turn as soon as we get some wins and prolonged level of wins as well. If you continue to drop points, it will get difficult. It will get sticky, and all of this stuff that you're saying in social media right now in press conferences might get twisted and looked upon in a different manner down the track. So yeah, look, kudos to Maresca being brutally honest, but wins will back all of this up. When you're brutally honest and you're not picking up the wins, it could come back to backfire on you. Now, next up, ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea are very close to selling Romelu Lukaku to Napoli. Napoli director Manna is going back to London to try seal the agreement. So hopefully Romelu Lukaku drama can come to an end as well, which is very, very important. Let's see if there's any other latest news before I give my final thoughts on everything. No, that seems to be the latest. So yeah, look, ladies and gentlemen, glad we've sorted out the Conor Gallagher stuff. Joao Felix is now at Chelsea Football Club. Let's see how he performs at Chelsea. Let's see how he gets deployed at Chelsea. We've got a whole heap of outgoings that need to go. Big drama happening with Raheem Sterling at the moment. And yeah, we need Raheem Sterling gone in this particular window. If he's not gone, then we will have another problem. Raheem Sterling, does he come back into the team? Do we change the conversation? Do we say different? Does Maresca start saying that, yeah, look, we decided to keep him, and we can use his attributes when he's clearly said that he's not part of the plans? Ben Chilwell, another story. He needs to go. What happens if he ends up staying? Because there's not enough time to do such deals, but I'm hoping that we can do such deals. So, and there's Sarsi's future up in the air as well. And it looks like we might even go for another new defender. So look, it is all chaos. For me, it is all chaos. And as I keep saying, wins will only make this chaos, lessen the blow of this chaos. If we don't pick up wins, all of this stuff will only escalate. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts about everything we spoke about. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Until next time, take care. See ya.